Imagine a sunny afternoon in Los Angeles, the city brimming with energy. Tourists flock to hotspots, while locals rush through their routines. In the middle of this vibrant chaos, a familiar face emerges: Barron Trump. Tall, composed, and wearing a signature red "Make America Great Again" hat, Barron steps into LA Terrace, a popular restaurant known for its elegance and exclusivity. Inside, the restaurant buzzes with activity. Conversations fill the air, glasses clink, and servers glide effortlessly between tables. Barron quietly approaches the hostess stand. He's seated at a small corner table. As he settles in, the unmistakable hat draws glances. Some diners whisper, while others pretend not to notice. The atmosphere subtly shifts. A few minutes later, the restaurant manager approaches. Polite but firm, he addresses Barron. "Excuse me, sir. We have a policy against political statements in the restaurant. Could you remove your hat?" Barron looks up, calm and composed. He replies, "I wasn't aware of such a policy. Is it written anywhere?" The manager hesitates, but insists, "It's an unwritten rule." The tension grows as nearby diners pause their meals to watch. The manager offers a choice: remove the hat or leave. Barron quietly considers his options. Deciding not to escalate the situation, Barron stands, nods politely, and says, "I understand. Thank you." He leaves without further comment, his calm demeanor leaving an impression. Outside, Barron takes a moment to reflect. He adjusts his hat and thinks about the implications of what just happened. It's not just about him, it's about principles of expression and tolerance. Later that evening, Barron shares the experience with his family. Melania listens intently, offering supportive words. His friends weigh in, some suggesting he should have pushed back harder. Meanwhile, social media explodes. Witnesses from the restaurant post about the incident, complete with photos and videos. The story spreads like wildfire, drawing polarized reactions. Supporters rally behind Barron, accusing the restaurant of bias. Others defend the manager, claiming the rule was necessary to avoid potential conflict. The narrative grows more complex. Amid the noise, Barron finds clarity. Instead of dwelling on the negativity, he sees an opportunity. "How can I use this moment to create something positive?" he asks himself. He envisions a fundraiser, not just to raise money, but to promote dialogue and unity. It's a bold idea, using the same restaurant where the incident occurred to bridge divides. Barron reaches out to local nonprofits and community leaders. He explains his vision: a day of connection and understanding, free from judgment or division. The concept gains traction. Volunteers, sponsors, and supporters step forward, eager to turn his vision into reality. The theme is simple yet powerful. United, we stand. The first step is securing the venue. Despite the controversy, Barron approaches LA Terrace. The manager hesitates but eventually agrees, recognizing the significance of the gesture. Planning begins in earnest. Barron oversees every detail, from selecting speakers to organizing performances. His determination inspires those around him. As word spreads, excitement builds. The event promises food, music, and meaningful discussions, drawing interest from across the city. Local media picks up the story, shifting the narrative from controversy to hope. Headlines focus on Barron's leadership and his ability to turn a negative into a positive. On the day of the event, LA Terrace is transformed. Colorful banners, lively music, and a bustling crowd create an electric atmosphere. Barron arrives early, greeting volunteers and overseeing final preparations. His calm confidence sets the tone for the day. As guests begin to arrive, the diversity of the crowd is striking. People from all walks of life gather, united by curiosity and a desire to connect. Barron moves through the crowd, shaking hands and thanking attendees. His presence is magnetic, drawing people in with his sincerity. The event begins with a welcome speech from a local community leader. She highlights the importance of open dialogue and praises Barron for his initiative. Barron takes the stage next. He starts with a warm smile, thanking everyone for attending. "Today isn't about me. It's about us," he says, his voice calm yet commanding. He shares his perspective on the restaurant incident. "It wasn't about a hat," he explains. "It was about understanding one another, even when we don't agree." The crowd listens intently as Barron sets the tone. "Let's focus on what unites us, not what divides us." That's the message I hope we leave with today. The next segment features a local choir performing an emotional rendition of "America the Beautiful." The harmony of their voices fills the room. The performance moves many in the audience to tears. It serves as a reminder of the shared values that bind the community together. Barron steps forward to thank the performers, emphasizing the importance of art in bringing people together. "Music speaks where words sometimes fail," he says. The applause is thunderous. Attendees are visibly inspired, setting the stage for the discussions to follow. A panel of speakers takes the stage, including educators, activists, and a local business owner. The topic: Bridging Divides in a Polarized World. The conversation begins with a reflection on shared struggles. One panelist shares their experience as a first-generation immigrant striving for acceptance. Another panelist, a teacher, talks about the importance of teaching empathy to the next generation. "It's about listening, not just hearing," she says. The audience engages, asking questions and sharing stories. The dialogue is respectful and insightful, showcasing the power of open communication. To emphasize unity, Barron introduces a symbolic activity. Guests are invited to tie ribbons of different colors onto a unity tree. Each color represents a value: blue for peace, green for growth, red for passion, and white for hope. Participants eagerly take part. The tree quickly fills with vibrant ribbons, creating a striking visual representation of the day's message. Barron smiles as he observes the activity. "This tree is a reminder that our differences make us stronger," he says, drawing applause. The event transitions to a series of workshops. Tables are set up with activities designed to spark conversations among attendees. At one table, people write anonymous letters of gratitude to strangers. At another, they discuss ways to address local challenges. Barron moves from table to table, engaging with participants. He listens more than he speaks, taking in the diverse perspectives. The atmosphere is lively and collaborative. Attendees leave the workshops with newfound connections and ideas. The highlight of the event is a keynote speech by a renowned civil rights activist. She begins by praising Barron's leadership. "What Barron has done here is extraordinary," she says. "He's shown us that one moment of division can be transformed into a lifetime of unity." Her speech focuses on the power of individuals to create change. "It starts with one voice, one action, one step forward," she says passionately. The audience rises for a standing ovation, moved by her words. Barron joins her on stage to express his gratitude. The event shifts to its fundraising component. Attendees are invited to contribute to local nonprofits, promoting unity and inclusion. Auction items include artwork, signed memorabilia, and unique experiences. Bidding is enthusiastic, with proceeds exceeding expectations. Barron personally thanks donors, emphasizing the impact their contributions will have on the community. By the end of the segment, the event raises thousands of dollars, surpassing its initial goal. The energy in the room is electric. Guests are invited to share a meal together. The menu features diverse dishes, representing the city's cultural richness. As people sit together, conversations flow naturally. Strangers become friends over shared plates and stories. Barron joins a table, listening intently as guests share their experiences. His humility and openness leave a lasting impression. The meal becomes a microcosm of the event's purpose: breaking bread and breaking barriers. The event concludes with a closing ceremony. Barron takes the stage one last time to thank everyone. "Today, we proved that unity is possible," he says. "Let's carry this spirit with us beyond these walls." As a final gesture, attendees light candles, symbolizing hope and solidarity. The room glows with candlelight, creating a powerful and emotional moment of shared purpose. As the candles are extinguished, attendees exchange contact information, eager to collaborate on future projects. Conversations about potential partnerships fill the room. Local journalists interview Barron and several participants. Their stories emphasize the event's success in fostering understanding. On social media, hashtags like #Unity in Action and #Community First trend as attendees share photos and reflections. Several attendees linger to thank Barron personally. A young student approaches him and says, "You've inspired me to lead a similar initiative in my school." A business owner offers resources for future events. As the event winds down, volunteers begin tidying up. Barron makes his way to each volunteer, shaking hands and expressing heartfelt thanks. "None of this would have been possible without you," he says sincerely. Barron takes a moment to sit alone and reflect. The sight of the unity tree, now full of colorful ribbons, stands as a powerful reminder of what was accomplished. He feels both pride and hope. A core group of organizers gathers with Barron to discuss the day. They note what went well and brainstorm how to build on this momentum. "This is just the beginning," Barron tells them. Barron pens a quick social media post to thank attendees. "Today, we proved that dialogue and understanding can create change. Let's keep this going," he writes, attaching a photo of the unity tree. Participants leave the venue discussing plans to take the day's lessons into their workplaces, schools, and neighborhoods. The event's message begins to take root beyond its walls. Local news broadcasts highlight the event as a turning point for the community. Barron's speech and the unity tree become symbols of hope, drawing praise from city leaders. Donations from the fundraiser are already making an impact. Local nonprofits share updates about how the funds will be used to support programs promoting unity and inclusivity. Returning home, Barron sits with his family to reflect on the day. His mother, who attended the event, says, "You made us all proud today." They share a quiet moment of gratitude. Barron starts jotting down ideas for future initiatives. He realizes this event can serve as a model for other communities facing division. "If we can do this here, others can too," he thinks to himself. As we continue, Barron Trump stands outside the restaurant, the cold wind sweeping across his face. He is confused and disoriented, still processing what has just occurred. His father, Donald Trump, is a public figure who has faced both admiration and scorn, but Barron is a private individual, thrust into the spotlight by association. The entire situation is foreign to him, but as he walks toward his car, he wonders about the reasons behind the manager's decision. Inside the restaurant, The manager, James, sits at his desk, staring at the empty chair where Barron had been moments ago. His thoughts race. He knows the consequences of his actions may have far-reaching effects. He wasn't sure what had prompted his decision, but it felt like the right thing to do. In the quiet of the office, he grapples with the moral implications. Did he make the right call, or did he let personal political opinions cloud his judgment? The uncertainty gnaws at him. Word quickly spreads throughout the restaurant. Employees whisper among themselves, some questioning the manager's actions, others agreeing with him. The buzz grows louder with each passing minute. Meanwhile, a customer who witnessed the incident reaches for their phone, preparing to share their version of events on social media. The first post hits the web, and within minutes, it begins to go viral. The restaurant is now the focal point of an online storm, and James realizes his actions have set off a social media wildfire. The phone starts ringing non-stop. Calls from journalists, bloggers, and even celebrities flood in. Everyone wants a statement from James. The pressure mounts as James sits back in his chair, realizing that this is no longer just about Barron Trump. This is about a larger issue, the intersection of politics, personal beliefs, and public service. His staff looks to him for guidance, but even he doesn't have all the answers. He wonders if this moment will define his career, for better or worse. In the Trump family's home, Melania Trump receives a call from her son. Barron recounts the events of the day, and she listens carefully. While she doesn't condone what happened, she tries to offer him comfort. Melania understands the toll public scrutiny can take, and she reassures Barron that, despite the negativity, he is strong enough to endure the public's judgment. She advises him to stay calm, knowing this incident will pass. Her words give Barron a sense of peace, but the emotional weight of the experience is still heavy on him. On social media, the story spreads rapidly, with people on both sides of the political spectrum weighing in. Some condemn the restaurant's actions, saying that Barron Trump was unfairly targeted because of his father's political views. Others praise the manager, arguing that standing up for one's principles is never wrong. The debate rages on, with hashtags trending and both sides becoming more entrenched in their opinions. It becomes clear that this event will become a defining moment in the ongoing national discussion about political divisiveness and free expression. As the evening continues, James receives a message from an old friend. It's a simple question. Do you really think you did the right thing? James hesitates for a moment before responding. He feels conflicted, but knows that this event is about more than just politics. It's about how society is navigating this new era of division, where personal beliefs are often at odds with broader expectations. He types a response. I don't know, but I think we all need to ask ourselves what kind of world we want to live in. Back at the restaurant, James makes the difficult decision to address the media. He calls a press conference and explains his actions, choosing to speak candidly about his reasons for asking Barron to leave. He emphasizes that the decision wasn't personal, but was rooted in his values. The press conference becomes a spectacle, with cameras flashing and reporters eager to hear his side of the story. As James answers questions, the weight of the world seems to rest on his shoulders. He knows this is a turning point. Barron, meanwhile, has gone into seclusion for the night. He spends hours thinking about what happened. His father's name will always be a part of his identity. But today, Barron realizes that he must forge his own path. Despite the backlash, he knows that this moment will ultimately be a lesson in resilience. He reflects on his mother's words and makes a silent vow to stay true to himself, no matter the consequences. Back in the media storm, the opinions are split. Some commentators believe that the restaurant manager made a brave stand, while others argue that his actions were politically motivated and unnecessary. The controversy only grows as more individuals weigh in, each bringing their own perspective to the table. The public outcry becomes louder, and the debate about free speech, public figures, and respect for others' political beliefs escalates. James begins to feel the financial implications of his decision. The restaurant's booking system is flooded with cancellations from people who either support or oppose his actions. Some see the restaurant as a symbol of standing up for values, while others view it as a partisan establishment. The loss of business is substantial, but James remains firm in his belief that standing up for what he believes is worth the cost. However, he begins to wonder whether his decision could have been handled differently, especially considering the financial ramifications. Barron's day ends with a moment of introspection. Despite the chaos and the public scrutiny, he realizes that his life will never be the same. However, he also knows that the only way to move forward is to stay true to who he is, not the label society places on him. He decides that his future will not be defined by the actions of others, but by his own decisions. The social media storm dies down as quickly as it erupted. The public has moved on to the next controversy, and while the restaurant manager and Barron Trump remain in the spotlight for a while, the intensity of the story eventually fades. James reflects on what has transpired and how it has changed his outlook on life. He realizes that, in the end, it's not about who is right or wrong. It's about understanding each other's perspectives and learning to coexist in a divided world. Months pass, and the incident becomes a distant memory for most. However, for those directly involved, the lessons learned remain. Barron Trump moves forward with his life, embracing the challenges that come with being in the public eye. James, on the other hand, continues to run his restaurant, but with a renewed focus on empathy and understanding. He has learned that every action has consequences, and the world is far more complicated than it appears at first glance. In the final moments of this extended story, both Barron Trump and James have emerged stronger from the experience. The restaurant, while initially struggling, eventually finds its footing again as the public forgives and forgets. Life returns to normal, but both individuals carry the lessons of that fateful day with them, knowing that sometimes doing the right thing isn't always easy, but it's always worth it in the end.